Another week here in the huddle with Coach Ruffin. We're glad to have you with us, A.A. Moore, ready to sit down and talk Miles College football with the esteemed head coach of the Miles Golden Bears, Reginald Ruffin. And Coach, this was a big week for a lot of reasons. Senior Day, you get back home, your final home game of the season, and really a must-win ball game against Kentucky State.
Yeah, it came down to the wire, especially get back in the Western Division title race. We had to have this game. And also it was senior week, senior day, and make sure the seniors go out their last home game out with a bang. And I thought our guys really responded to our seniors and giving them a farewell tour of their last home game.
And then you have a Kentucky State team. It's actually the first team that you face on your schedule with a winning record, and they're a little different than all the other teams that you saw this year based on the kind of offense that they run.
Yeah, they're flexible on offense. Coach Jackson's done a great job, new coach into the SIC, and he came in. I guess, everybody didn't give him a chance, but, he surprised a lot of teams, surprised a lot of FCS teams. Jackson State, Robert Morris, and then coming in and playing Tuskegee so tight, and a lot of the games that they did lose, they played so tight, those teams tight. But, we had our work cut out for us because it was the option, and you have to take responsibility to be a well-disciplined football team.
Well, Miles had to be very disciplined to try to get a W, stay in the Western Division race, and we'll start looking at the highlights when we come back here in the huddle with Coach Ruffin.
So you're with the UPS store?
Yes. In fact, we printed these right here.
Oh, I thought you guys just did shipping.
No, we do printing, packing, faxing, notarizing, shredding, mailboxing, copying, taping, binding, consulting, designing, returning, storing, grading. Oh, and of course, shipping.
So you're into shipping?
We also do printing, packing, faxing.
Come into the UPS store today for everything your small business needs. And of course, shipping.
In the Huddle with Coach Ruffin is brought to you in part by Andrews Sports Medicine, ADT, the UPS Store, TNT Fireworks, and the Maxwell Tillman Law Firm.
Back here in the huddle with Coach Ruffin. And Coach, before we get to the highlights here, you're coming off of a tough loss to Central State. You got to get ready to get back into the ball game. I'm sure the week of practice coming in was a little tougher, a little tighter than it normally is.
Yeah, I was a little hailstorm running around this past week, but I think our kids responded well. I didn't take that loss too well. I thought we could have played better. The turnovers really did a thing on me, just turning the ball over that many times and not having, capitalizing on the opportunities that we did have, breaking out the long runs and then fumbling the ball. And regardless of the situation or the elements of the weather, you still have to play good football.
Well, Miles is again facing a Kentucky State team #1 in the SIAC in time of possession, so the opportunities even to get into the end zone were going to be a lot fewer and farther between than a lot of other games this season. Let's look at the highlights and see how the Golden Bears attacked this option offense. Perfect day for football. Miles has been playing in the rain all of October, but you've got clear skies, windy day, but certainly a good track. And as you can see right here off the bat, speed coming, Jarius Grayson on the corner blitz.
Great job, Coach calling that corner blitz, and Isaiah almost picked it off. If he get his head around, he could have picked that ball off.
Well, quarterback Jalen Myers had a tough day all day. It was mostly because he was getting chased down by this guy, Jalen Thomas, who gets to Myers right here. Great
job, Jalen. He had an awesome game, unbelievable game, but just played assignment football and, just did the thing we asked him to do.
It was his 4th sack of the season, and now Miles is on offense. Smith gets it out here to DeAndre Harvey. He's got 9 catches on 9 targets on that play.
Well, that's his favorite route, I guess it's his favorite target in that offense, so DeAndre did a great job.
Here's Justin Ruiz, had a little trouble holding the ball last week. This week he holds on to it, picks up the first down.
Great job, O-line, just making their blocks and Justin protecting the ball and just running and finding the hole.
Miles is going to face a 3rd down here, and look, just right out in the flats is Dominique McNeely.
Great job, Dominique, bouncing back from last week and just being in the right place. Great job by Daniel.
He gets 7 yards for that first down. Here, you get the hard snap. It's a free play. Watch this catch. Daniel Smith goes up top. It's Leonard Tyree, one-hands it, and gets Miles down to the 2.
Great job, great protection, and just great job by Daniel when they jumped offside, and Tyree making that catch, big catch.
2 plays later, This time, Daniel Smith is going to roll out. Good block there by Tyler Lowry. He gets all the way to the sideline. It's enough time for not the appetizer, but DeAndre Fagan in the end zone for the touchdown.
That's bootleg on goal line. Great job. Great call by Coach James, and great job by Fagan.
Miles leads 7-0 with 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. That belly play broken up there by Jamari Smith. He was a man inside.
We're just glad Jamari's back. You know, he's beat up a little bit this year, and, oh, man, just happy to see him back.
Another Jalen Thomas play here. This time, he was in the backfield before the quarterback could even get into the option.
Just a little stunt with our D-line, and Jalen did a great job.
The wind was blowing, gusting up to 20 miles an hour. Here, Jay Fitch keeps it low. Look who runs it down. It's Tyree who downs the ball inside the 10.
Well, you know, our guys, they have to play special team. A great job by the punter and great job by Tyree getting out.
Jalen Thomas had 4.5 tackles for loss in this game. Here's one of them right here as he pulls Myers down.
Yeah, great job. Like I said, Jalen had an unbelievable game, just doing everything we asked him to do this week.
Second quarter action here. Look at this laser thrown by Daniel Smith, and then Cohen Hudson, who had some trouble keeping his feet against Benedict. This time he tight ropes the sideline. He's in from 26 yards. It's 14-0.
Yeah, Cohen, great job by Cohen. You know, getting a lot of reps, getting the opportunity, and next man up.
Brett Silve here for Kentucky State finally gets it going. He gets 18 yards on this run.
You know, he's the top runner in our conference. You know, for us to keep him corralled all game, so our defense did a good job.
Quarterback here, Myers, is going to he pitches it out here on the option run. It's Isaiah Jackson for 9 yards and a first down.
Yeah, great job with that option. You know, you just got to feather that quarterback, make him hold a little long, and let your defense rally and get off blocks.
They tried to go to the belly play here again, but Jalen Thomas, Jamari Smith would have none of that.
Great job. You know, they was running the trap, and a great job by those guys playing responsibility, that D-line. 3rd
and 10. They did not throw the football, very much in this ball game. But back to pass is Myers, and he's incomplete to Brendan Lawler. Kendrell Walker on the coverage.
Yeah, great job by K. Walk. You know, just being in the right place at the right time, doing his job.
Maybe the only mistake Miles made offensively here in the ball game. It's going to be a flea flicker. You had receivers open, but Daniel Smith unable to get to any of them. He underthrows it. He's picked off by Andrew Perkins. It's returned to the Miles 27.
Yeah, he was going, just trying to throw the deep ball, and just when hit the check down was wide open, and that's where he's supposed to win with the ball.
Kentucky State trying to get on the scoreboard. 3rd and 7. He's trying to hand it off. He didn't get any time to do any of that. Jalen Thomas in the backfield again.
Yeah, great job. You know, like I say, great job by our defensive coaches coming up with a great game plan.
And amazingly, after a penalty, they punted. They didn't score any points. One more time, Isaiah Jackson trying to get to the outside, but Jalen Thomas once again, as Jackson never sees the corner.
Yeah, great job. Jalen staying home, just doing his job, doing his assignment.
Well, at halftime, 14-0 is going to be your score as Miles goes into the locker room. Kentucky State had 27 yards of total offense in the first half.
Well, the biggest thing is we told our guys, you know, just assignment football. Somebody's got to take the dive, somebody's got to take quarterback, somebody got to take pitch, and they have to do that on every play. You know, nobody can take off, and I think our kids really bought into that all week.
How tough is that, though, for a team that doesn't see that all season long for the most part, to now have to deal with this kind of new, and people would think that it's kind of gimmicky and gadgety, but really that's the base of how offensive were way back in the day.
Well, you know, for me, I'm from the option. You know, at the University of North Alabama, we ran the triple option, and, you know, you had to take dive, quarterback, and pitch, and you don't practice with the ball. I'm a high school coach by trade also, and we didn't practice with the football. We told our kids it's about responsibility. So all week, they didn't get the football. The DBs, they didn't have a chance to catch any balls because we practiced without footballs all week with this offense.
Well, that's certainly an interesting way to go about it. Again, 14-0 is your score at halftime. We'll get to the second half highlights in just a moment. But when we come back, big ball game coming up this week against Tuskegee. We're going to talk to a couple of guys who have experienced playing at Cleve Abbott Stadium and all the bedlam that comes with it. We'll get that when we come back here on In the Huddle with Coach Ruffin.
So you're with the UPS store?
Yes. In fact, we printed these right here.
Oh, I thought you guys just did shipping.
No, we do printing, packing, faxing, notarizing, shredding, mailboxing, copying, taping, binding, consulting, designing, returning, storing, grading. Oh, and of course, shipping.
So you're into shipping?
We also do printing, packing, faxing.
Come into the UPS store today for everything your small business needs. And of course, shipping.
In the Huddle with Coach Ruffin is brought to you in part by Andrews Sports Medicine, ADT, the UPS Store, TNT Fireworks, and the Maxwell Tillman Law Firm.
Back here in the Huddle with Coach Ruffin, it's halftime and Miles leads Kentucky State 14-0, and we'll get to the second half highlights in just a moment. But first, we've got a big ball game for the Western Division crown against Tuskegee coming up, and there are four guys on this coaching staff that have experience playing at Tuskegee and coaching as well, and they've got some tips for what Miles is going to need to do to be able to go into the bedlam that is Cleve L. Abbott Stadium.
I'm talking about a very, very hostile territory. I mean, I'm from Tuskegee, grew up there, was a ball boy for Coach Aaron James, Coach Fred Ellis. I eventually played there and eventually coached there. So I've been through it, but it's a very hostile territory for anybody coming down in the hole in Cleveland, Abbott. But just as far as from the student section to the band to the smoke going, it's just a very hostile. Those people love their football, and you really got to come down there with it on your mind to take care of business.
Well, like you say, the second play of the game, we threw a little screen out to the receiver, ended up fumbling the ball. That took the momentum from the start, and that's a hostile environment down there. You can't let them get the momentum down there with all the fans, the student section, and everything going on. But we just got to be mentally prepared this week when we get down there in that bowl.
It's going to be a great atmosphere. Miles College and Tuskegee always been a little bit of rival ever since I've been there. Either playing up here or down, because back in the day we used to play at Legion Field. It's going to be 30,000, 40,000 people there. And when they come down there to the bowl, they always come down. It's going to be 40,000, 50,000 people down there. So it's always been fun. It's going to be a great atmosphere. And everybody, it seems like we all family. Birmingham and Tuskegee ain't nothing about an hour and a half, 2 hours away. So it seems like everybody know each other. It seems like we all family. So it's like a family rivalry. Half your family, Miles College, half your family, Tuskegee. So it just make it more for the rivalry. So it's going to be a good atmosphere.
For the Western Division Championship, we have coaches that coach here, coached at Tuskegee, played at Tuskegee. Friends down there in Tuskegee on that coaching staff, and so that alone sets up a big stage, and it just adds to the intensity. But then you add a Western Conference title to it. I mean, that just heightens up times 10 squared.
Always. Whenever a team always set you up for homecoming, that means they think they can beat you. And for them to set us up for their homecoming on the last game of the season, last game of the season, and say we're going to beat y'all to go to the championship, that means a lot. So that means we got to go ready to go and fight.
Well, I mean, the student section under the shed is just, I mean, it's a good environment to play in. Like you said, as a player, we fed off the students and the fan base. I mean, they give off good energy. And as a coach now, as I'm preaching to my guys, we just gotta make sure that we just do our part and just don't let the fans and the student section get involved into where we gotta, play catch-up ball. So we just gotta make sure we're doing everything on our end to stay in the game.
Just cancel the noise, because they're gonna talk. That's part of Tuskegee. They're gonna talk, they're loud and confident, they're gonna talk, they're cocky, so you just have to block that out, be focused, stick to your guns, stick to your coaching, every play, one snap at a time, one play at a time, one series at a time. You just take it like that throughout the game.
Well, I believe it's just the same mentality, but the thing about it, when you go into a game like this, you gotta be more focused. It's all about focus, because it's real easy to get to look into the crowd and your mama and your dad and them down there. But the hard part is still staying on task, knowing what you got to do for the football game, because that's the only thing that really matters. The band and all this stuff is for the band. The football game is for us.
We just gotta block everything out. I mean, we preach it to them every day, trying to stay mentally prepared, and it's really nothing you can do to take the noise and everything away from them, in the stands. But like I say, it's a big game. It's a rival game, and plus it's their homecoming, so they're gonna have
Coach, you're part of the crew that has come over from Tuskegee, and one of the things that Jonathan Hall talked about was about the family kind of atmosphere. I'm sure it's more like Hatfields and McCoys if you think about it once you get to the ball game. But before and after the game, there's a lot of interactivity between the two groups.
Yeah, Coach Slater gave me my opportunity to be a head coach and be his assistant coach and assistant head coach and defensive coordinator. And then now I'm in position as the head coach. I learned so much from him. And then, Jonathan Hall and my coach Robinson, Miles Robinson, playing there under me when I was there, and it was real big for them guys. And Aaron James being the legend of Tuskegee, winning his quarterback and Tuskegee history, all the championships that he's won, and Coach Ellis, all the championships he's won, as being the starting center for Coach James. And Coach James took a lot of snaps from Coach Ellis. So it's just unbelievable. It's a family atmosphere. It's going to be about business, but we also know it's family there also.
Right, and Miles, a couple of years ago, back in 2015, became the first team in 18 years to beat Tuskegee on homecoming. We're going to look to try to do that again when we take on the Golden Tigers this week. But we got a little bit of business to finish up here as Miles has a second half to go against Kentucky State. When we come back, we'll look at those highlights. You're in the huddle with Coach Ruffin.
So you're with the UPS store?
Yes. In fact, we printed these right here.
Oh, I thought you guys just did shipping.
No, we do printing, packing, faxing, notarizing, shredding, mailboxing, copying, taping, binding, consulting, designing, returning, storing, grading. Oh, and of course, shipping.
So you're into shipping?
We also do printing, packing, faxing.
Come into the UPS store today for everything your small business needs. And of course, shipping.
In the Huddle with Coach Ruffin is brought to you in part by Andrews Sports Medicine, ADT, the UPS Store, TNT Fireworks, and the Maxwell Tillman Law Firm.
Back here on In the Huddle with Coach Ruffin. And Coach, you've got the 14-0 lead. You pretty much shut down Kentucky State's offense, but with so much time still to go in a whole half, in fact, what do you tell your guys as they get ready to come back out?
Well, it's a new ball game. 0-0. What we always preach is 0-0. We got to come out and establish the first 5 minutes and take control of this game. With defense, stop them, give the ball back to our offense. Offense has got to continue managing the clock, putting points up, and moving the football and not turning it over. So,
was there anything in the first half though that maybe worried you that you thought that the team needed to fix coming out in the second half?
For me, it's just make sure we just stay focused on assignment football. I know it's a little boring for a lot of guys that are used to making a lot of tackles and doing a lot of things, but this is a different offense. This is assignment football. You have to do your job, do your assignment, and at the end you get an A+ or make a 100 on the test. And we just told the guys, just do your job and do your assignment.
Well, Miles had an A+ in the first half as they pitched the first shutout over the first 30 minutes, but there were still 30 minutes to go, and we're going to bring you the highlights from those 30 minutes. Second half, second play from scrimmage. Myers, he drops back to pass, but Thomas and chases him down. Mitchell Smiley lays the boom, forces the fumble, but Kentucky State keeps possession.
Yeah, just stay in coverage. Great job by Mitch. Great job by Jalen.
Now Mitchell Smiley's on the other side. Myers didn't see him there either as he gets his second straight sack.
Yeah, great job. Coach calling the blitz off the end, and great job by Mitch.
So Miles back on offense, and this time Daniel Smith looks familiar. If it works once, why not do it again to Dominique McNeely for the first down?
Great job protection and getting rid of the ball, and great job by Dominique.
The drive would stall, it would bring out Brady Hamill. Hamill had a tough time last year kicking field goals, but here into that tough win, Coach, 44 yards, a career long for Brady Hamill.
Yeah, 44 yards for number 44. Great job,
It's 17-0 with 9 minutes left in the third quarter. Defense back on the field. Isaiah Jackson on the sweep. He gets 11.
Yeah, great job by Kentucky State. They had us pent in pretty good.
And then Silv, like you said, the top rusher in the SIC, he breaks loose. He gets 25 yards on the play. You add the penalty, and they're down to the mile 6.
Yeah, great job. The option, it hits every now and then. So
Miles is the #1 team in the red zone defensively, and you're about to see why. Here, first down, Silv runs into Thomas. There's no gain on that play.
Great job. Responsibility. Guys taking dive. Guys taking quarterback.
Silv tries to get loose here on second down, but first in is Austin Stevens. He gets just one.
Yep, great job by Austin. I think Coach called the blitz, and Austin just did a good job of plugging the hole.
Now it's third down. And they're going to try to sweep again, but this time it's going to be Jalen Thomas and Antonio Evans.
Yep, getting to the football. That's a great job by our secondary coming up containing, and so excited about those guys.
So here we go, 4th down. They're going to roll Myers out. Thomas again on the chase, and it's going to be Antonio Evans who's going to knock it down. The secondary shut it down, and it's a turnover on downs.
Great job, just not allowing them to score, and our defense giving the ball back to the offense.
So here it's 3rd and 1, and Dante Edwards covers the ball and then lays some punishment on right there for the 1st down.
Yeah, that's what we got to protect the football, but big 1st down, we needed that.
He picked up 15 yards on that play, and then on the last play of the 3rd quarter, Edwards again up the middle for 10 and another 1st.
Great job, great job by the offensive line and great job by Dante.
We move to the 4th quarter. We're looking at 3rd and 6, and Daniel Smith didn't throw for a lot of yards, but he found the open guys more often than not. That time it's Antonio Lee for the 1st.
Yeah, just getting the 1st down. We just want the clock, keep moving and offense just move the football.
Here it is now 3rd and 4. They give it to Ruiz, who had a solid game, but this time he's not able to make the 1st.
Yeah, great job by Kentucky. They knew we was coming with, the run play and it's just get the ball back.
So watch here as Jay Fitch punts again. This time he gets run into, but at 6'3", 225, it's kind of hard to get the sell. He tried everything, laid out flat, had a accompanying actor with him, but unable to get the penalty call there.
Yeah, ref, he missed that, but, we just got to keep playing.
Here, Kentucky State back on offense, and that meant Jalen Thomas was back on defense. He gets Myers, but it gets a little too much there. Hand in the cookie jar, or at least in the face mask, is going to cost him 15 yards.
Yeah, that was tough. He saw it, and he knew he grabbed the face mask. But, hey, you got to give him effort for that.
Well, Kentucky State is going to get down to the mile 17 here on 1st and 10. Isaiah Jackson tries to get around the corner again, but there's nowhere to go as the Miles defense shuts it down.
Great job. Guys getting to the football. We talked about that all week.
Myers is going to drop back to pass. He doesn't find anywhere to throw, so now he tries to run, but instead it's DeAndre McCurry who gets the sack.
Great job. Great coverage downfield. That's why he couldn't throw the ball, but great job by D-line.
Here it is. It's going to be 3rd and 13. It was designed quarterback draw, but Ozzie Williams stays home and knocks him right down.
Yep, great job by Ozzie. Worked on that. We knew that was going to come during the game, and Ozzie was waiting for it.
Another chance to get on the scoreboard here for Kentucky State coming up as Jonathan Jerry tries from 37 yards. He tries to kick into that wind, but he doesn't get close.
Yeah, great job. Anytime they don't come away with points, we're excited and happy. Get the ball back to our offense.
There's still 3:45 to go. Kentucky State maybe thinking we get one more chance at the ball, but first Dante Edwards picks up 10 on that run, and then he's going to get a couple more runs, Coach, 9 yards apiece. Talk about the effort that he has given this year. He is the team's leading rusher at this point.
Well, he's tough runner downhill, does everything we ask him to do, and just excited with Dante. He runs hard.
As you can see right here, as he gets another 9 yards, keeps churning the clock as the clock gets inside of 2 minutes. And then you've got Justin Ruiz. He picks up a big run here. Unfortunately, there was a penalty on the play, but he had 32 yards on this run. Talk about Justin Ruiz's effort.
Well, Justin, he's another guy new to the program. Next guy that's been up and doing his job, and he just runs hard. Justin runs hard, outside, inside. He's just a very athletic running back.
Well, Miles runs out that last 3:45 of the clock. They win 17-0. First shutout win for the Golden Bears since they shut out Kentucky State back on homecoming in 2017. You hold the Thoroughbreds to 152 yards of total offense. Talk a bit about that effort of the defense and how they were able to shut down Kentucky State.
All the credit, man. The defensive coaches, Coach Watson, Rashard Watson, he had a great game plan. Defensive coaches put a lot of time and effort, especially with this offense. We kind of gave our guys a look that we could try to simulate during practice, but it really wasn't, you can't get that full effect or full speed. But I'm just proud of our defense playing assignment football just about 90% of the time.
And talk a little bit about something that happens in practice, and it doesn't get a lot of airplay, but you've got a scout team that's got to kind of simulate what Kentucky State was doing. Talk about those guys and what they do in practice, not just this week, but on a weekly basis?
Well, those guys are very athletic, just due to the circumstance they're not traveling, but they give a lot of work in day out. We call those guys developmental guys. We don't call them scout team players. Developmental guys because they're guys that's development. They're trying to develop as good collegiate football players and they need a little bit of time, and these guys work hard. We have the guys that simulate speed, guys simulate power, guys simulate just what our offensive line, developmental line, give our defensive line fits every day at practice. And this gets us better.
And talk about some individual players. We talked about Jalen Thomas a lot. SIAC Defensive Player of the Week, 14 tackles, 6 of them solo. He had 4.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks. Over the last couple of weeks, he's got more than 20 tackles. Talk about his engine and the way he's been playing the last couple of weeks.
It's a hard worker, and the Sylacauga native, everybody, I live in Chelsea, and everybody always talking about Jalen. When I go to Sylacauga, Jalen has done a great job. He's a great leader. He works hard, man, real smart in the classroom, and he gives a lot of effort, man. Great family. But the thing with Jalen is, you can't tell him what he can't do. He's always going to overshadow that and work hard to be great.
And let's talk a little bit about Brady Hamill, SIAC Special Teams Player of the Week. That 44-yard field goal, especially the way he struggled last year, to be able to see him come in and get the career high on senior day. Talk a bit about him.
Well, coming from a program, Brady didn't win a game coming from his previous institution, and he got here, won a conference championship last year, and he struggled a little bit, but he's coming into his groove. He works hard now. That Jack, has an issue, an injury, so Brady has stepped up and has taken over the kicking duties, place kicking and kickoff duties.
And now you've got Tuskegee coming up for all the marbles, at least as far as the Western Division is concerned. And every year since 2011, minus 2016, it has been these two teams playing for a trip to the SIAC championship game.
Well, it's a battle. Everybody knows Tuskegee is in the mecca of HBCUs. The winningest HBCUs when it comes to Tuskegee, and great program. Coach Slater, we go way back history, recruiting me out of high school, and also coming back and him being the head coach that gave me an opportunity. So Coach Slater, he's going to have those guys ready. We got to be ready because we're playing a good Tuskegee football team.
Well, Miles and Tuskegee again. You'll hear a lot of talk about homecoming going on at Tuskegee, so you'll want to get there early. Make sure that you're in the place to root on the Golden Bears as they take on the Golden Tigers. We thank you for joining us here on In the Huddle with Coach Ruffin, as we've got a big ball game coming up, and we hope to see you there. If you can't get there, 1 o'clock on Saturday, make sure you watch the replay here on WOTM. So for the coach, Reginald Ruffin, I'm going to get your name right one of these years, right? I'm A.A. Moore. We thank you for joining us here in the Huddle with Coach Ruffin.